I just want to do an intro for who's coming on.
All right.
Right. So in the West Coast, you know, there's generations of cats that, you know, especially since the death row days coming up till now. And there are standout artists, right? And then there's people that, you know, are legacy artists, the people that came before that time. Our guest today, he's very unique.
Yeah.
He falls into the category where he's not an old artist, but he's, you know what I'm saying, he came up, he's not a young artist.
Okay.
And so he was able to kind of exist in both places at once.
Right.
And so he's been able to kind of carve his own path without the traditional route. Respect his grind, respect his music. You've heard him all over the radio. You heard him everywhere. And also he has entrepreneurial aspirations.
Okay.
And you know, and we talk a lot. He comes to my studio and we talk about anything and all things hustle and grind. And I'm glad because he listens, and we just recently, I say over the last 2-3 years, had this type of relationship.
Okay.
Right. And I don't really talk to a lot of people because I really I don't like people a lot. You know what I'm saying? But I like this guy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So he's special.
He's special.
All
and
right.
I'm glad he's on the show today. So we're gonna talk about Problem, aka Jason Martin. He's coming on. And it's going to be a great episode today.
What?
Yes.
He's here? All right.
Right, yeah, exactly. What? All right, lasagna ganja. Give me some ganja. It's the Lasagna Ganja podcast. I'm Mr. X to the Z Xzibit.
And I'm your girl, Tammy, a.k.a. the Cannabis Cutie.
And one of my peoples is in the building. We got Problem in here.
Come on.
Yeah, man. What's up, man? How are you?
What's going on, brother?
Good.
Hey, Tam.
Hello.
Yo.
This is so cool.
Yo, man. For those who are listening, we had a gigantic ass joint just a while ago. I mean, this thing was like, it looks like a goddamn fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
And
it's working too.
Yeah, it's working. Shit. Glad to have you on the show.
Man, thanks for having me.
Yo, man. So there's a lot to talk about, right? So Problem, you know, tell us a little bit for those who are listening. Tell us your journey in the beginning of being an artist, just kind of Cliff Note version, because there's a lot to cover, a lot of ground to cover. So how did you get started, and what was happening in your environment when you got started?
Shit, man. I didn't want to be poor. That was one. I knew I couldn't work at a regular job, just me having kids early. And I just didn't like listening to people.
Yeah, how early was that?
This is like 19. You know what I'm saying? So once I saw like with child support and stuff, man, it's like, hold the fuck up. I gotta figure this out. And then I just kind of got forced into music accidentally. I started playing this game called Music Generator. I started making beats on it. And then somebody heard them, and then they just started bringing me around, and music just started grabbing me. I ended up bumping into Terrence Martin out of nowhere. And then he took a liking to me, brought me to Corrupt. He took a liking to me. They brought me to Snoop. And then the rest just kind of started West Coasting. I mean, that's probably the quickest version to it. I got thrown into the Ego Tripping album where I got to meet all of you guys at one time. And
I remember you coming around, man. One thing I remember about Problem is that his outfits was always on point. His shit was matching from the top of the hat all the way to the shoes. I mean, his shit was color coordinated like a motherfucker. Yo, I'm telling you.
Like, come on now.
Yo, that's one thing I remember about every time I see it. I was like, man,
hey man, you know,
he sure is a snazzy dresser.
I'm from the school of Easy, Quick, you know what I'm saying? So they always was on some like fly guy Compton shit. So I was like, let me bring that element. You know, everybody got their niche and things that they want to do. My thing was always like, man, let's stay neat, let's stay fresh. That's crazy you picked up on that.
Yeah, no, I remember that. Now, how important is being from Compton? What does that mean as an artist and the ones that have come out before and the ones that were kind of around your time coming out. There's not a lot of people that came out from there that hit the type of success that you have, NWA, Dre, you know, like there's a certain, I'd say like a fraternity of artists that come out of Compton. Like what, how important is that to you?
It's the most important. Like this is basically considered like the Motown of West Coast rap. This is the Bronx of this whole situation, man. It started in Compton with Easy and Dre and just Suge and everything that kind of came out of there. For some, I think it's like a gift and a curse because that means now you're going against the monsters. Meaning like that Hall of Fame and that thing that's in there is a serious thing.
With certain expectations.
Yeah, but for me, it's like gold. When we travel around the world and people hear you from Compton, they look at you like you some type of alien. Like what the fuck? Like how are you here and how did you make it through that?
How did you survive?
How did you not die? so man, for me, I wore it like a badge of honor. Like some people like to hide it that they're from there. I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, but I had the beauty of getting embraced by my predecessors. You know what I'm saying? Quick grabbing me and like saying like, nah, he with me. You know what I'm saying? The Dre love, always get that. Dots. Everybody that kind of came out was like, yeah, we rocking with you too. I think it's nothing better. It's nothing better. I wouldn't trade it for nothing.
When you got into starting to work around, you know, the Ego Trip album and meeting all of us, and we were at a certain places in our career. What was that like for you? Because in California, if you don't know, the subculture in California, especially with the artists, is deeply rooted in gang culture. Yeah. And in that gang culture, it is definitely a pecking order, and everybody don't necessarily get along, right? Which is it's counterproductive to be an artist in that kind of environment, but for some reason the ecosystem works here, right? You just know where you can and can't go. So that being said, you as an artist evolved into your own thing. Because out here, if you knock on the door so long and you don't get in, then you have to take the road of, okay, I got to take the long way, so I'm gonna build my own thing. Right. Which is, you know, entrance Diamond Lane. Yes. Okay. So what was the philosophy and the execution on bringing Diamond Lane to life? And who was involved too?
You got Bird, you got Bad Luck, you got K Active, Early Miller. Shout out to him. Lou Dog. There's a lot of us that were just off from that east side and just said, fuck it. We're gonna try to do this. We're gonna put our brain, our mind, and our talent together and just storm straight ahead. We were a crew far before we became a label. So it made it to that when I walked in rooms, we didn't have to talk to anybody. I was already with 30 people. And it was just us against whoever wanted that type of funk, not even on no violence, just on like music and present. I think it was very important for me to join up with a crew of guys that all believed in one thing. It made it where I didn't have to attach myself to gang brands, so to speak. Like I didn't gangbang. I just ended up growing up with a lot of the guys that everybody's scared of. I don't know how that happened. I just, you know what I'm saying? That's just how it went. But I've always been a straight shooter. And I've always been, I don't have a problem telling people no. But I can do it respectfully. And I think most G's in this area from this side respect that.
Yeah, that's very important.
Yeah, I don't make promises.
To that too.
I don't make promises because you triple OG, OG9. Hey man, listen, that sounds crazy. I can't do that. And I'm gonna tell you that day. And they don't do nothing but respect it. But if I can do it, I do. I learned that quick in this coast. I watched people get pressed for doing breaking promises. They'll say they can fuck with something. They'll say they're gonna do something, and then don't. You know what I'm saying? When they call for that favor, niggas don't want to ask.
Yeah, you reminded me of something. I don't know if this happens to you or whatever, but I hate when people like I don't know come up to me and be like, yo. Yeah, talk to me about some whatever they want. Now, how do I get in touch with you? Can I get your number? No, niggive
it. What the fuck?
No,
hey, man.
No.
Hey, man.
I'm not giving you my number right now. I give you an email. Be like, oh man, I can't get to see that's that shit though.
Right.
You know,
like me, it's a case by case scenario. If I can kind of pick the vibe of who I want to hand my information to. Some guys they'll say, give me your contact, and I may put the Instagram. If it's some guys I think I do want to talk to, they'll get my number, or they'll get the email or whatever. But still, If you call and I don't want to answer, I'm not. I got kids and shit that I gotta really fuck with.
Man.
Everybody else is really optional. You know what I'm saying? And but I can say that when I see you again, a nigga like, man, why you didn't answer my call? Hey, nigga, because I was talking to my kid. You know, I think being straightforward from the West Coast is what kept me to where I didn't get pulled in many directions where I would have to like defend my manhood. If that makes any sense.
So what was the ultimate? What was the ultimate high and the ultimate low from Diamond Lane? Like where is it Diamond Lane now?
Diamond Lane is still moving and pushing, man. We got Airplane James right now. I would say the ultimate high for sure would be when Like What hit. The Like What moment was crazy. That's when we had our own record. That was right after Function. So we had our own song that was ours. Like that we can say we didn't put no big name features on it. It was me and Bad Luck. Me and my partners and the crew of producers that was with us at the time, League of Stars, shout out to them, and Pun, we all was together. And it was like, whoa, we got something. So then that was like, you know, the Shook Soda can, it popped everywhere. Now it's Let's Go Crazy. I would say the lows would probably be, we got it too fast. We were in existence a year, and then by the next year, I was probably like top 3 over from California, which is hard as fuck to do. So when it comes that fast for a group of guys that are pretty much not, I'm not gonna say we were winging it, but we got it to a ceiling and it was time to maybe hand it over to this or do this or do that. That maybe was probably the low. But looking back now, I mean, we still on our masters. Everybody's still alive. That part, that's probably the best part, and everybody still talks. And so I wouldn't even say that's a low. Maybe that wasn't just for us. Right. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the crew, that's forever, man. I just got a Diamond Lane check yesterday, man. We're still here,
It's
baby.
not bad.
Come on. It's not cool. Independence ended up working out.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Come on, man.
So music has always been a big part of your life. And like me, you diversify. I've diversified like 17 different times. You know, because I just always like to step out and challenge myself. I want to do things that people don't think I can do, right? And so that's one of the driving forces for the reason I create. And it's not limited to music. It's not limited to entertainment. So I pride myself on being able to build businesses, put people together, and I like creating in that aspect as well, which is the same thing you've done as well. We've had many extensive conversations about cannabis, the place in cannabis. You've had some great, you know, movement in cannabis. So tell us about Coffee and Kush.
Coffee and Kush, man. It's a brand that started through the pandemic. I was drinking coffee and smoking weed every morning, and decided to try to monetize it, and just through the ups and downs of it, still just figuring it out. The fact that it still has a name is the win for me. I have to understand that this is not music.
Right.
Like music, I can make that happen fast.
Well, what exactly is Coffee and Kush?
Coffee and Kush is more of a lifestyle brand than it is coffee and Kush. It's the balance it creates together. I've noticed as somebody who's had this turned up fucking life, I still needed that little zap in the morning to feel like I was a little bad a little bit. So I still need to smoke my weed, but the coffee would kind of keep me at this thing where I was zeroed in and focused on being able to create music still, write films, or go fail at something else and try again. I just was so zeroed in when I put these two together. So it was like, well, fuck it, let's try to build a brand about it. You know what I'm saying? So I called you, called her, called a lot of people that I just knew were powerful in the space, and just took my shot at a few things. Some things worked, some things didn't. But the fact that the brand is still here,
right?
And I knew that I gave myself a 5 to 7 year window to really monetize on it. I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, so it's a mug that has a actual
weed pipe,
connected to it on the handle. It also had flour. I saw it in Wonder Bread stores, a couple different places. And then there was also a food truck idea that you had.
We had the Coffee and Kush truck where you can actually grab your cannabis and your coffee from the same truck. We were out for about 40 days, and then they changed the law on me real quick. You used to could put the delivery license on the lease truck. You have to own the trucks now for that to happen. So they watched me basically show them how to do it. So
Yeah,
they're probably gonna pop up.
Just
But I will
Yeah.
say successfully, we had no crime. We were in the green that last 3 weeks of it every week. So we were really dialing that thing in. So stay tuned. You may see more things coming from that. And Compton Coffee was created just due to the fact that the banking was so fucking tough with it being called Coffee and Kush. And then when we wanted to do a Coffee and Kush coffee, people would think it was weed in it. So it made us have to really think. And then Compton Coffee is born, and then Coffee Talk is gone, and now we're about to do a Coffee and Kush album. So the brand is just going to expand out until we can do what we really want to do in cannabis.
Oh man, Compton Coffee. That's ingenious right there.
Yeah, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. You stayed on me long enough. Like, man, go fucking do the coffee, man. What are you doing? Like, I gotta find it. That's shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we finally outside with it.
So so even though it started with Coffee and Kush, it morphed into a straight coffee brand.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Powered by Coffee and Kush, you'll see on the bags. But
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So too much red tape to kind of try to do both.
Dude,
try to start both.
it seemed like every time the fucking bank get the cha-ching in, I get a
Yeah.
Like, hold on, wait, what's going on? Well, we see this could be coming from cannabis. I'm like, dude, we changed the name to Coffee and K. They like, we know what the K was.
Yeah, we know
It's
who you
like,
are. Yeah. Yeah. Pro tip to anybody out there watching: when you form an LLC, keep the name cannabis, kush, weed,
get that
marijuana,
shit off. No.
anything that alludes to cannabis out of your LLC name. My LLC does not have cannabis anymore. I learned the hard way. But I do operate as the Cannabis Cutie, and everybody knows that is my brand. It's just an umbrella underneath my LLC.
Yeah,
So,
that shit was a lot. We went through that a lot. You know what I'm saying? We did the CBD coffee first. We can never keep a bank going. The cannabis stuff, same situation.
Well, they have credit unions now that make it a little easier to do banking.
Well, now, I've removed myself from the cannabis side of it for the last year and a half just because I want to make sure whoever I partner with this time to handle it is equipped and ready to handle it the way I want it to be handled.
So you don't want to touch the plant whatsoever. There's nothing wrong with that.
I want someone to touch the plant for me. I more want to be the one to make sure it's the right plant going in the bag. I want to make sure it's the right type of flower that blends with the coffee.
Correct.
Because it's gonna take a real heavy kush. And I know that's probably not what's in style and all that, but this is to smoke with the coffee. I'm not trying to have the best or most popular weed out. I need this to go with the people that drink coffee. So it has to be very particular that I was dealing with people that wanted me different type of strands because this was hotter, that was hotter, that was hot. That's not what this is, though.
Right. You have pairings. You have things that complement your favorite smoke.
That's so I want to be very, very, very picky about who I dive into that next with. So
well, did you guys hear the news about the banking situation for the cannabis industry? Okay, so the Senate Banking Committee passed the Safer Bank Act, which this has happened 7 times before in the past. But right now, the Senate will go and vote on it. And if it passes in the Senate, it'll go to the House. The House, it could be dead on arrival because it's Republican majority and they typically don't vote these types of things in. But if it does pass, then the next step is it goes to the president's desk to be signed into law. So there is a possibility that by the end of the year, we could see cannabis banking legalized. But I don't know if you've been paying attention. Our House and Senate are kind of at war. It's like the Crips and the blood. Yeah, straight gang wars happening.
I don't know what the hell's going on.
You know what I need to happen? They need to hurry and pass that consumption lounge law out here. I need that to happen ASAP for real coffee.
The laws, they change like every 90 days, so just pay attention.
Yes.
Right now, New York is my favorite place to be.
You know, New York is not a good place to be out right now. It is a nightmare.
When I was out there just walking around smoking and shit and all them little back-end shops, it felt like how LA felt when it first happened.
Consumer side, they're in heaven. Like the U.S. Open smelling like flower, like weed, that's amazing. But for on the business side, it's like what the beginning of California was like as well too. For sure, so yeah.
It's California packed like crazy out there though.
Yeah.
Out there. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah.
Shout out UPS, FedEx.
No. It's not UPS and FedEx. It is not them. It is the USPS. They are the number one drug dealer.
Wonderful young ladies that take long drives on behalf of the culture.
Shout out to the post office.
Yes, it is them.
Going postal a whole new way.
Thank you for being the best plug.
Yeah.
Shall we smoke?
Get your stamps and your whams.
Wait, you guys can smoke on this show?
Well, maybe we could take a smoke break.
Yeah, why not? Let's do
All
that.
right.
It's the Lasagna Ganja podcast, Mr. X to the Z Xzibit.
And Tammy, a.k.a. the Cannabis Cutie.
And we got Problem, a.k.a. Jason
Martin. Jason Martin, FKA Problem.
Okay, so look. Formerly known as. So tell us about that.
Yeah.
Wait, tell us, first of all, let's back it up a little bit.
Come on.
So
let's get it.
How did you get the name Problem? And as now, fast forward, you change it to your government name.
Yeah.
So walk us through that. What happened there?
The name Problem came from hooping. My boy Ronze, shout out to him, saw me, used to see me at the court. I was a little dude. I was doing my thing. He's like, when you giving niggas problems, we're gonna start calling you Problem. So that's where my name came from. And then when I started rapping, I'm like, oh, I can have like a tough street nigga name. It's gonna be hard. I'm gonna roll with this. So the name just kind of came from that. As far as the fast forward now, why we go to Jason Martin, age, time, I've just gotten more, what's the word I want to look
Mature?
for? Not more mature.
Refined.
Not even refined. What's the word I'm looking for? More intentional about when my name is being brought up. And I don't want you to hear Problem and then now you have to learn me backwards instead of forward. That's one. And then my daughters, like they're older now. And the name is really different. You get what I'm saying? That's a real thing. And then
here's my dad Problem.
Yeah, but then it's like for my family, like I love my name. I love my father. I love my grandfather. The name is a name that should be said loud and loudly everywhere. Then we go business. It's just time to get a new bank, a new checkbook, and just start a new brand. And that way, hopefully, once I get a few hits under Jason Martin, I can do a verses against myself, and then it's up.
Yeah.
But both of them go to the same account, though.
Yeah.
So it's good.
I had that conversation with a friend of mine because words have power.
Yes.
And so, long story short, J.O. Felony came to me and asked me to work on some music with him. We had this conversation. He was like, this is happening, I'm having this issue, having that issue. And then as I'm listening to him, there's a common thread through all of these stories. And it always had to do with some jail shit.
Right.
And I was like, bro, your name is J.O. Felony. Like, I was like, what's your real name? He's like, James Savage. I was like,
that's a fire name.
What?
That is a really good name.
It's a fire name.
James Savage, that is on your birth certificate?
It's a fire name.
Yeah.
So we did a whole project based on, his government name called James Savage. If you have a chance, go take a listen to that. But it is the artist formerly known as J.O. Felony. And I think it worked for him. I think but again, he in my opinion.
You got to build it.
Yeah, in my opinion, he was scared to all that work he had put in under J.O. Felony. I'm pretty sure it was scary for him.
Nigga, this shit hard now.
To want to go reintroduce himself as his real name.
I ain't gonna hold you. That's been the hardest thing, especially now with music because of the DSPs. That's basically, I have a credit score under Problem that generates this amount of money monthly no matter what. So you can't just go and say, well, now I want to be called Jason. And then think you're going to bring that credit score over here. The hardest thing has been getting the DSPs to know that I'm the same person to sync up here, because you don't want to drop a record. Like, I just dropped a song and it's like, okay, well, this account has 50,000 listeners a month, but this one has 500,000. I'm not going to just let that fucking sit over there. So I got to figure out ways to it's been tough. But the thing is, you got to always remember, which I wish I would have been able to tell James then, now that I know, bro, it was tough before. When you were J.M. Felon, nobody was fucking with you for the 20-something years before you got popping. It's always going to be tough when you rebrand. That's the point. You got to go in there kind of knowing that. But you got to take all the twos and the L's and the W's that you have from that last go, and then you just speed up your process. For me, it's taking a year to get my shit to where it's like, okay, you niggas know what's going on. Okay, why is your name Jason Martin now? I got 2 first names. I was never meant to be last. It's never meant. So it's like that type of shit. You'll start figuring out the same fly nuances you need to be an entertainer under your new alias. But it's hard. You know what I'm saying? Niggas still like, Prob, what's up? So I tell niggas, yeah, I'm Prob. Call me that. This is a business
That's
decision.
definitely how I greeted you.
Yeah, for sure. That's my name.
Jason.
So speaking of rebranding, do you have new music coming?
Yeah, I got a new album coming.
Okay.
Yeah, a Compton Story. The album.
Nice.
Yes.
And that's coming with. How are you dropping that? What's the plan? Because it's a different climate now. In music. So what's the plan?
So I mean, right now the film A Compton Story is on Tubi. Y'all can go check that out. With the success of what's going on with that, it made me say I have to deliver some music with this. So I had a ton of music that I just been sitting on. Like, bro, I have to do something crazy with it. So figuring out what I'm gonna do with this 30 songs, it's like, okay, we can drop a double CD, DVD that'll be coming out a week before it hits streamers. You can purchase. You have that aspect. And then we'll drop the first amount of songs on this date, and then you'll see that there's more. And then you'll get a chance to say, oh shit, what the fuck? Why can't I click on that Xzibit and Too Short joint? Why can't I click on this Schoolboy joint? Why can't I? And we'll create a FOMO and bring that thing where you checking back daily to see if they're updated. But you're gonna get them first 15 for sure on October 27th.
So back us up a little bit. What is the album is called The Compton Story?
Yes.
And there's a film connected to it. What's the film about?
The film is just one wild day of me. Like, my days are so random. I talk and deal with so many different people throughout the day. So the first half of it is me waking up with this idea that I want to go buy a Lamborghini. And then this is the shit that happens on the way. I end up witnessing a shootout, and then I end up bumping into a couple of my friends, and then Snoop, and then I may see Renee Vodka, and it's just like a wild day. I want to keep it very light because you hear a Compton Story and you think we've had this shoot 'em up gangbang movie. I did not want to do that. But then as the movie progresses, the person that I see have the shootout, we end up starting to follow him. And then we get with him when he's trying to find me, but what the reason is for is what you'll see at the end. So just kind of turning my day into like this mystery thing where hopefully I can spawn off to all of those characters and they have their own. You know what I'm saying? That's the real mission. But it really just started off on some other shit. Like, bro, I wanted to do something besides make a song. Right. And like you said, the word creator, I call myself a creator now more than anything. It's like I just wanted to create something and I had no fucking clue what I was doing. But we made a dope piece of work. You know what I'm saying? That's going on right now. But to get to the music, that's my heart, that's my soul. And we was able to stuff some dope jams in the movie. I'm like, fuck that, we finna run it. Let's do it where we can market both spots. So you'll hear Compton Story, you'll either see the movie or you'll see the album.
And you're in the movie too, right?
Yes.
Come on. I thought I saw you in the trailer.
Come on.
Yes, I didn't see the final edit, but I saw pieces of it. I'm gonna go watch it on Tubi.
Guess what? He's on the album too. You know what I'm saying? It's going down, man. It's going down. I'm so excited about this project though. I was able to really put some interesting combinations of people together. You know what I'm saying? And utilize the thing you talked about, being able to grab from the youth, the kings and queens of this shit, and just kind of put them in one spot for a second.
Well, yeah. What do you think of ageism in hip hop? Like, what do you think of, you know, people say hip hop is a young man's sport. How do you feel about that?
And that's why I don't listen to people.
Right.
We just celebrating the 50th year of hip hop, right? We might be the youngest genre of successful music ever. And so you can't say what it is until you've seen it for 100 to 200 years. You get what I'm saying? We're telling hip hop what it is right this moment. We're writing the rules right in your face. You got to think, what am I? I'm second generation West Coast. The third is now getting established, which means you guys were first. Meaning, like, what the fuck? How y'all? So before them, there was nothing. So how can you tell that what it is?
When you think about it like that.
It makes no sense. We're so early. We're babies in hip hop. You get what I'm saying? I think at the time, you guys were all a certain age, so that age group was listening. But now that age group grew up and still wants to hear fucking hip hop. I feel like we need to see what's going on. Like, look at the fucking Temptations. They fucking toured till they passed away. They don't say that.
You too just did a show at Las Vegas Sphere.
Yep, on Saturday.
And not too long ago. And nobody tells them when to stop. I just think there's something weird about, and there's always a reason behind when things are shoved in our face. Right. There's always a purpose. There's always a reason. You know, there's more than 6 seats in hip hop. Right. We all don't have to fight over these. Whoever put these 6 seats down, we don't have, there's more than 6, right? So there's plenty of room for people to grow into legacy artists. Everybody feels like they can be in and out. You know, I think they're trying to ruin the staying power of hip hop.
I think they've definitely made a mockery of the sport for sure. They devalued it in a way that's unbelievable. Like, because I think we started to charge too much. So anytime something gets too expensive for people to pay for it, they gotta try to water it down and make it. Well, that's just that, and that's just that, man. Hip hop still sells everything. Yeah, everything.
Children's shows, they sell laundry detergent with it. You name it. There's somebody trying to. There's a grandma rapping. There's an old guy rapping.
For me to see Snoop selling Coronas, knowing he doesn't drink, tells me everything I need to know. That just tells you everything. And he just said it. I don't drink that shit. He know. He just said it the other day.
Don't fuck up Snoop's man.
No, he just said this the other day on Twitter.
Not in public.
No, you know he'll say it. And I'm still gonna hold it, cause he gonna just get into his vibe. But the thing is, it just shows that he's selling his presence. Like, I fuck with this brand for what we doing. Come rock with it. It ain't no ageism, man. Stay here. Keep going. Just don't be weak. There should be some weakism. Just weak ass niggas is terrible, bro. I can't do it.
Well, even when you look at the influence of hip hop on cannabis, like, you want to get people out to the polls to vote about it, get somebody to rap about it. Like, make it cool. Snoop made it cool. Snoop made it less dangerous. He made it less of a taboo. Right. It's like, look how silly and goofy he is and how much of a light he is. Like, this isn't making you evil. And just the overall, like, Cypress Hill and their influence on talking about cannabis in a different way. So when you do talk about the influence, it's there. But I guess I'm just so confused why there is such a always an old school versus new school thing happening in hip hop. I feel like it's always been a thing.
I mean, I think that happens in life, like in relationships.
In our communities, they pit us against each other.
Totally, yeah. I mean, they teach us this competitive sports type thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, look, you see what he doing, man. He getting more than you. What you gonna do? And instead of like, and then you get the artists like me, that's like, man, shit, that's dope.
Instead of being inspired, they make it a competition.
I mean, we see that in cannabis too. I mean, one of the best ways to take out your competition in the cannabis industry is to get their page shut down.
Yeah. What type of fucking weirdo shit is that?
And it's like,
what type of shit?
It's just petty. It's petty.
It's petty, but also the cannabis industry. We've got to remember we have one common enemy, and that needs to be the focus. Taking out each other, competition, always like going at each other. Like, it's almost like, you know, the Bloods and the Crips in cannabis too. Like, if you mess with these people, you can't talk to these people. If you cool with them, like it is, you know,
that's not snitching, politics. Though. Getting somebody's fucking page, like that's snitch behavior, bro.
It's just a pain in the ass.
It's fucking calling the authorities to get my fucking.
It's not the law. It's the Instagram. Instagram guys.
You said the minute they take it down, you're fucked.
Yeah, it's not a lot of places that you can promote freely to the cannabis community. And when you get your page shut down, then it just puts a monkey wrench in things. You can still get it done. A lot of elbow grease, a lot of showing up, a lot of boots on the ground, but it's so much easier when you are dealing with and abiding by the rules and the guidelines, but being able to have a direct line to your audience is automatically a great plus in the plus column.
Whoever fucking did that is cap. Who's ever done that, like that, and I thought this was like, you know what I mean? I come from weed doing a different thing, bro. Like, I don't like that fucking weirdo shit where you like it's always against the system, bro.
Yeah.
Y'all shouldn't be fighting each other, man. Niggas trying to get high and make some money.
I wish it was that simple, but that's a whole nother show.
Yeah, somebody in 2021 did not like me. I got taken out 8-9 times. Yeah.
Eventually, they just get tired or die. One of the two. We don't know. Yeah. You have a podcast as well, right?
It's not a podcast. It's a fucking show.
It's a fucking show.
Okay, it's a show.
But it's not pornography.
Have microphones like a podcast would?
Anytime you see me, a mic, and a camera, it's a show.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, thank you.
No, I have a show. It's called Coffee Talk. It's with my brothers Marv and Brandon. Shout out to Lior, Co-Create Studios. We having fun. We're about 26 episodes in the can. We really dialed it in. It's dope to do it with my dogs, man. Yeah, it's dope to do it with my dogs. Like I never seen them on camera before, so to watch them grow from like episode 3 to now, how they be coming in late and shit, and looking at that car, like, oh, this is fire. I fucked with it.
What do you think? Why did you want to do a podcast? And what is Coffee Talk about?
Okay, I didn't want to do this at all. Like, they've been trying to get me to do this for like 3 years. I would do my Coffee and Kush mornings on live during the pandemic, and you know, people would see me on there talking shit till my joint is done. My boy Marv was like, "We have to put this on a show. We got to do this on a show." I'm like, "This is the only way we're doing it. I just can show up, the weed there, the coffee there, and I leave." My mind, I can't even create it the way I would want to. So it has to be fully ready for me to rock. And then one day I got a call. We got a spot. Can you do 7:30 in the morning? For sure. The weed there, coffee. And then I started and I fell in love with the shit. It's like my favorite shit to do. We shoot twice a week. I swear my days are better after we shoot because I get to just talk with like-minded guys that are very different from me for a couple hours. So I love it. I don't what it's about. It's really as simple as that. We go until the weed and the coffee is done.
Yeah, just current events. It's anything and everything.
Any and everything. Like nothing's off limits. I think the beauty of our show is that we touch on we make uncomfortable conversations comfortable.
Like, give me an example.
Meaning, like, we brought up, like, one of the producers threw up on the board the parent that came in and snatched the gay pride flag off of the map in the history class. So we played and we just all kind of spoke about it. And we're gonna speak, and it's a diverse room. So I got my Jewish partner right there, I got my other partner right there, my white boy partner right there, college guy right here, earthy guy here, the rapper. So we touch it all in that situation, and it's very, very uncut. But we always end with saying these are our opinions, and they'll always be ours, even if y'all don't like them.
Right.
So fucking dial in and make y'all talks about it. But y'all watching this one, and if I think something's not right, I should have the platform to be able to say.
Right, and this sparks conversation.
Oh, it does. But it's shit that I know we all talk about that just some people are a little nervous about talking about.
Yeah, like the things that go unsaid.
Right. Yeah, like I think every show we hear the term, "This is a genderless world," right? This is equal rights. Well, we had this one segment where we took somebody's voice and we AI'd it and made it a guy and then played it, and then we asked the room, "Is this fucked up? Do y'all think this is fucked up?" Oh man. Then we showed that it was a girl. And then it was like, oh, this is a different conversation if a woman says it than if a guy. And the interesting things like that we've been playing with, that's gonna probably set us apart. In our journey. I'm super excited about it.
Well, good, man. Can't wait to get down there and check it out.
Y'all gotta come by. Come fuck with it.
Yeah, it's called Coffee Talk.
Coffee Talk.
Where can they listen? Where can they find it?
On YouTube right now. I think we just started a Patreon page. Somebody just told me, again, it feels so good that they are doing it, though. As somebody who's like, have to be an octopus pretty much most of the time, it just feels good to have something super dope that I can just hop in and just be myself, man. So shout out to those dudes, man.
Tell me about it.
Shout out to those dudes.
Yeah, man. So we talked about the music, we talked about the podcast. What's going on with you personally? How are you doing?
You know what? I'm actually cool.
Yeah.
I'm actually cool.
Yeah.
My daughter, my oldest, she graduated college.
How many kids you got?
6. Come on.
Why did you say it like
Yeah,
that?
6 beautiful ones.
6 kids.
Yeah, 1 boy, 5 queens. Woo. Oh yeah. I can tell you about it.
Man.
Hey, listen, I got them all
That
with your
was like,
ways
you
too.
said
Putting in
6
work.
and fuck at the same time.
Oh
That's
yeah. So look, but you know what's crazy? I like to tell people I had 5 of my children pre-fame. So
Okay.
Damn.
yeah, I don't know what was
Wow.
wrong with them ladies. I guess I was like, y'all crazy. I'd have never fucked with me. I didn't have. You know what I'm saying? But maybe I like to joke with them. Y'all saw it earlier. I'm your Bitcoin. But
Problems pull out game is trash.
pull out. I'm driving in.
Oh,
no.
Oh,
Yeah.
the whole thing. I didn't have much else to offer. I don't know.
No.
No, man. Shout out to those wonderful people, man. We made some beautiful people. But yeah, my situation
You
was.
was dropping off packages.
Well, no. Listen, lust and love sometimes get confusing.
I get that. I get
Yeah.
that. 6
You know?
kids.
Yeah.
Well, the oldest in college.
No. She's graduated. Now, my 20-year-old, she's 3rd year. She at Grambling. And she just got a fucking apartment. So that means I got an apartment because I'm paying for the shit. That, fuck them kids. I love them to death. But then, you know, my babies, you know what I mean? They go all the way down to 8. So
Nice.
it's going up.
Okay, good, man.
But fuck them. Let's talk about my personal shit. I'm all right, man. I'm like that my friends are like doing things they've been talking about doing. That's dope to see. It's a lot of, like, I feel like my circle is really like coming into its own. And with us, I mean, us included, with us creating this circle where we don't really have to talk to nobody else, is really going to be cool.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of my friends are starting to see the value in themselves, what they bring to the table, and figuring out a way to deliver that message without being arrogant. Like, everybody's kind of learning how the real success comes as a crew. And in that, it makes my life way easier. So I can say that's what's been going on with me personally.
Yeah, I could say, you know, there was a lot of heavy shit going on in the early 90s into the 2000s that affected a lot of people inside and outside the industry, especially on the West Coast. But now in today's generation, they're not dealing with a lot of those issues that we had to deal with at that time. And I see them, you know, having a different set of issues. I think now the biggest issue and the biggest obstacle that they have is being accepted for being original. They have a different type of fear that, you know, didn't exist with us. Like, we had no problem sounding different, being different, wanting to be standing out. Now it's like they want to fit in this box because they feel like the box is the only way to be successful.
Right.
So if I could speak to that generation and just tell them, just be unapologetically you, it's gonna strive for longevity, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's a better place to sit in the history books than being super big, super fast, and then nobody remembers you.
Yeah, I think that's what would have happened to me, honestly, if I would have really got that real major situation too fast, especially just the path I was on with the drugs and just like the lack of awareness. It could have got crazy. It could have spiraled out of control, and I'm not sitting here able to even create a Jason Martin situation.
Yeah.
So you're definitely right. I think people come into this shit to hit a lick. And that's the problem. There's nobody here because they love to create. It started looking like the place where you get your money fast.
Yeah.
And
I started hearing that too. Not to cut you off, but I hate when fucking rappers come up to me talk about, yeah, man, I only been rapping 6 months. Like, nigga, that is not.
Yeah.
I want to fucking hear that. Like, I don't want to hear nothing you got to say.
Yeah.
You know, like, come on, man. It doesn't have to take forever. But it takes at least 10,000 hours to fucking be good at something.
Yeah.
Good at it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like really give me some effort.
I've heard good is subjective. I've heard, well, this is just how we do things. You know, the classic cliche young nigga shit you gonna hear. But at the end of the day, the proof is in the numbers. Ain't nobody from this side putting up no numbers. that's not already put up numbers before. Like, we can keep talking about the Kendricks, the Tylers, the y'alls, the this and that, but where's this next thing that's gonna come here and really shake shit up? Not drop a song, not have a hot moment, not have a beef.
Career.
Like, who's the next person that can get lifted into this thing we call West Coast hip hop history? I'm searching.
Yeah.
Because we need it. We need it. We need an extension cord on the game. Right now, honestly, we're in last place.
Yeah.
We are. Over here, we are. I'm in New York.
In the West Coast.
The West Coast. We are in last place when it comes to the spectrum of the importance of hip hop. As far as right now, we don't move the culture anymore. We used to, when we did something, everybody else did it. Hence the gangbanging all over the world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Hence weed. Hence all these things that was just over here. Now they can do it everywhere. So it's like, now we're borrowing from them, but we don't borrow it right.
Yeah, I understand what trap music is. I understand what trap beats and different producers popping up, but we have a certain pride out here where we don't have to sound like nobody else. Like, if you build it, the West Coast gonna support you. Like, this is arguably, outside of Germany, the biggest, music market, cannabis market on the planet. It's California. So we have an opportunity to really like put a stamp on things. But, I think one of the things is what goes back to what I was saying before is, the people wanting to fit in, and attention being the new drug is harmful to them. Yeah. It stunts their growth. I want to hear the next Public Enemy, not regurgitated material from them, but dealing with today's issues and problems. And I want to hear about that. Not everybody's balling and rich and got the fucking, like, I'm sick of that. Like, everybody can't be that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I would love to hear something new to take. It's going to be so refreshing that I want somebody to break the tide. I want somebody to show us, that they have, they can step out on faith. Yeah. And not be afraid to not fit in, because that's what's going to make your sound live for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, the shit just don't sound expensive like no more. Like, it don't sound like no real time was put in effort and put into it. Like, I think for music that came out of this side, this coast, no matter if you want to do like the themes of it or what we talked about or whatever, the style of the cadence, whatever you want to do, the shit sounded like somebody gave a fuck before it came out.
It had a budget.
It could be, but the thing is now, to make it sound like that doesn't even cost as much as it used to cost. These motherfuckers got plugins and mixes and shit. Like, right now with all this shit going on, literally, I can go to an AI thing, drop my mix in and say, make it sound like the Chronic 2001. It will get as close as possible. Not that it could, but it will. But meaning people don't want it to sound that good. They want it. They don't want to mix it. These kids are different. They like, nah, you taking out the dirt out of it. But then when you put in these clubs and you get on these big ass stages and they hit play and it don't hit the same, you're wondering. You want to tell the DJ to, no, turn it up. Nah, he got it up. Yeah, it's that mix.
The trash.
It's like, again, I'm not what's good and bad. That's all subjective. I know what I don't fuck with, and that's on me. But it just doesn't sound like you niggas said, all right, we're gonna take what this sounds like, and now let's polish it up. I like to say, let's put it in the car wash real quick. That's what's lacking from over here, because them beats, bro, they gotta be mixed right. The sound, your voice, we have to hear what you're saying.
Right. Where's the filter that puts a nigga on beat? Stay on beat.
They on beat. They on their beat though.
Stay on beat.
What?
I feel like
Oh
some music they just rapping through the microphone and then they put the beat after, because it don't be like.
It's like, what was the point of the beat? Why have a beat? This is spoken word.
Yeah, where are you, bro? Like, where are you? What are you listening to?
I mean, there's a lot of people that's been off beat since the 80s.
Yeah.
Every 2 to 3 years, we had somebody that came out of there. It'd be like, we'd be like, whoa.
Yeah,
We
I have my opinions.
We allow bump, skiggity, bump to be a hip hop thing. If I said that right now, they would laugh me out of the studio.
Yeah, but at one point in time, everybody was rapping like that. Everybody was trying to imitate that.
So that's where I'm gonna stand with the young niggas. Okay, maybe that's their thing, but at least make it fucking, I can hear that you're trying to be off beat. That shit be sounding like you put it through the phone and said, all right, let it fly. I heard this young dude say, this is how he figured out what songs he gonna push. He'll go to the studio, he'll make it, and then he'll play it on TikTok. And if it doesn't get to like 30,000 views, then he'll just go, instead of paying for the full mix, he'll just start another song because he's like, okay, that ain't gonna work.
Oh, hell no.
I just heard this the other day.
I mean, that's honestly a cool gauge because
what?
TikTok is bringing a lot of songs back from the past to get their flowers that they should have gotten. Like, you got to get your music on there. Get it into once one of these young little preteens.
My young one tried to get me to do some TikTok shit. It's just
not even you, just your sounds. Like it's got to be put in the right context, and then it blows up, and now you're back on the charts. I love watching.
I mean, they can do that.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything.
I challenge you.
You don't have to do anything
to make him a TikTok and make his TikTok cool.
Well,
y'all can do it.
We can get one of your songs to go viral. Then you come in and then you do the thing.
Okay, so I tell you what. Here's what I'll do. I know my son has made me a TikTok. I don't know. I've never checked it. I don't even know what it looks like. But if one of my songs, I think a couple things have done like viral for Xzibit catalog on TikTok. But if something like in the next however much time goes viral on TikTok, whoever does it, puts it together, I'll come and be in your TikTok video.
There we go. See, now that's what the West Coast needs.
As a millennial,
I'll come and be in your TikTok video.
As a millennial.
Because they banned me. They banned me all over the place. Yeah.
Okay, well, as a millennial on TikTok, that is a challenge somebody is going to take, and congratulations on your newfound virality.
Come on, let's go.
See, it's about to happen.
It's the Xzibit TikTok challenge.
All somebody is going to do is find us a lyric that they can put it into context, act it out, and then boom, everybody will do it across the internet, and then you have to do it. Right.
I'll show up to wherever you're doing your TikToks. I don't care if you're at your parents' house or whatever. I will fly, drive, travel to you, and we'll do the TikTok video.
What are we doing? Exclusives are happening right.
I'm excited for this.
Oh, see? Look at this.
Don't sleep on TikTok.
This got to be the originator, though.
Yeah.
Like whoever makes it go viral first, then fuck with it.
It's usually a person of color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how it works?
Yeah.
Let's go do that.
Hey, listen. I always sitting there, I always looking at my daughter in the corner. She's over there doing this. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm making a TikTok. Like I'm supposed to know.
You guys got to get on TikTok.
Hell no.
You have to.
I need somebody just to run mine. I don't have the brain space to learn that.
You don't even need to get on there and post. Just get
I
on
need
there
a social
and
media
watch.
person. It's just too many fucking apps. I don't have time to do that shit.
I agree.
Yeah, I need a social media person.
Me too. Listen, I need one too. If y'all can find one, I need somebody just to focus on social media.
Dogface is a great example of what TikTok can do for your life. The guy that was riding the skateboard.
With the ocean spray.
Right, and then that song, all of a sudden, they're back on the charts. People buying their vinyls, buying their music.
But he couldn't come down the street doing that.
No, he couldn't. But anything can happen.
Absolutely right.
Hell no, you can't ride no skateboard.
Absolutely, I can.
You can?
Yes.
Can you ollie?
I used to be able
Man,
to.
Could you
the fuck out of here. Wait,
not a
Okay.
kickflip now.
Okay.
Yeah, my knees are shot.
No, you're serious? You can ride a skateboard?
Yeah.
That don't shock me though.
Yeah.
Look, you're an adventurous guy.
Look, I used to skate ditches when I was a kid. Like,
Wow. In Detroit?
No, this is in New Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I could see that in New Mexico. What else are you doing?
Need napalm decks. Come on now, listen. See how
my first skateboard was a
Yeah.
Vision Psycho Stick. And I learned how to do everything on it. I beat the shit out of that skateboard.
Vision Psycho Sticks.
Okay, so then can we get you to do a dog face moment? Maybe not Tropicana. What do you like to drink?
I
mean that
I think an easier question is what I don't like to drink.
Modelo's.
Okay. Shout out to Modelo.
Shout out to Modelo. Shout out to 42.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to E40. Earl Stevens.
Man, hey, listen, that Earl Stevens fire. I just had some shit yesterday.
Yo,
he sent a couple of crates over. Shout out to Earl.
Yeah, but that brings us back to our conversation too, man. I love seeing my young brothers and sisters be able to put together their ideas and like alchemy, be able to bring things to life, you know, out of thin air. And that is a talent. That is a not an easy thing to do. And, you know, to see E40 and, you know, the way he diversified his career and portfolio into being, you know, a damn near, you know, a kingpin off selling his brands of alcohol. And now he went to Goon with the Spoon. You're doing the same thing. Yeah. Coffee and Kush, Coffee Talk, the Compton Story, a Compton Story. All of these things lend itself to your work ethic and what you see yourself as. Yeah. And if you could look yourself in the mirror and see the potential that you're rising to, that's very commendable. I'm proud of you.
Man, thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Appreciate you. I appreciate you just for helping me. You know,
man.
I come in here in a real vulnerable state. I don't get to do that much.
Yeah,
especially around this city. You know, you got to just kind of move a little different. So it's healthy for me to be able to have somebody like you. I appreciate it.
Man, come on, man. But that's what it's about.
Come
man.
on,
they're brothers.
The new West Coast.
Okay, let's do karate in the garage.
Wait, we done got the nigga on TikTok. We found out these skateboards.
John Stamos.
We love each other. This shit is wild.
we got Jason Martin, formerly known as Problem. You know what I'm saying?
Man, thank you guys, man. Thank you.
That's right. It's right. It's the Lasagna Ganja podcast. Where can they find us at?
DCPofficial.com or where all major podcast platforms exist.
That's right. Where can they find you, Problem?
Problem 354. Everything.
Yeah. Or even on TikTok. It's the Lasagna Ganja podcast going down. I'll see you next episode. Bang.
Check out the Lasagna Ganja podcast wherever podcasts are streamed.
And check out our separate feed with video episodes.
Available on Spotify and YouTube.
For more information, visit DCPofficial.com.